Hello everyone, welcome to this Sunday live stream. Let's draw comics. And the reason I'm so behind compared to last week is because some of you may know I have slight annoying hernia in the cervical spine that's located specifically around C4. And it affects, especially when I do repetitive movements, especially fine movements. My body, my nervous system gets scared or something. If I overdo drawing too much or doing something like writing by hand too much. Now, I have learned a lot ever since. It doesn't disable me yet. Hopefully it doesn't ever. I think I know how to handle it, and I'm gonna talk about it because I think repetitive strain injuries, or RSI, are so common in artists. I have talked a lot about this topic, so don't worry. I'm gonna try to focus it on a not so serious issue because I can draw right now. You can see. What I need to do, and this is so my test for how much I can do or how many spoons I have is playing games, because it's not as bad as drawing, but I'm using the mouse, right? Without stopping. So what I do, and this is the same way I recovered last time, is unfortunately a very annoying game of patience. You do have to listen to your body, you do have to listen to pain, but there's also pain that's also scaring you unnecessarily. And that first day where you have, I didn't get to flare up level, thank goodness. It just started to hurt in weird ways, and I knew that if I continued doing the activity that I was doing, I would get to the flare up, and that would have been terrible, because then that's the thing that does disable you for a few days or even more time. So thank goodness I have learned. As soon as I started feeling weird, like the symptoms, I guess I know the symptoms too much at this point, but maybe you don't know. You feel tingling, weird pains everywhere that passes through your spine. Some people feel it artists will feel it on their arms, hands. In my case, elbows, shoulders, wrists, hands, fingers. So what I did is I stopped any excessive activity, especially any fine activity. I didn't do anything at all, not even writing in my planner that first day. I was like, okay, no, there's no way. I'm not going back again. Never. Bye. There's no way I'm gonna risk it. I'm so glad that compared to before, I can do so many activities. I feel like I was telling someone the activities I could do, and they were like, yeah, that's normal amount of activities you can do. But it was me celebrating that at some point I wasn't able to do them for a very long time. Also because I didn't know how to treat this. And the way I'm gonna recover is, so the activity shouldn't stop, okay, so you rest a little at the beginning. Not a little, quite a lot, honestly. Depends on the severity. And then you figure out the amount of spoons you have as carefully as possible. What I did is I tested with playing. And as soon as I felt something weird, that was my time up. So, and that wasn't even, complete pain. But I know that my limit right now is half an hour. So what I do is I keep half an hour throughout the whole week of fine activity. I don't go beyond that. And then next week, I'm going to be able to add 10 minutes more. And then next week, after that, maybe 10 minutes more. I already feel much better. I have way less pain in that moment. And I remember also something I did, and this is something very common. I'm dying to draw. I really want to draw hours today, every day. Me making my algorithm show me a lot of art is good for motivation, but sadly, I need to not risk the spoons I have already and keep up this. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try to prioritize other goals I have, like maybe dancing, seeing some people, socializing a little bit more than I would like to. Like right now, I would love to draw so much, but I'm gonna be patient. It's so tempting to be like, hey, maybe I can draw more. And maybe it's possible, but again, not gonna risk it to be in a lesser state of not even being able to draw half an hour. That's awful. So thank goodness I'm not as bad. And I do feel a little bit of pain right now, but I know it's because I have proved to myself and I have proved to my nervous system that I'm fine after drawing or doing fine movement for half an hour. And there's probably more in the day, more movements, like, even brushing your teeth, eating your food. I was feeling rough eating my food that first day that I was hurting. And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen again. I'm not gonna become a lefty again. Nothing wrong with being a lefty. What I mean is just being able to eat normally. For me. But yeah, thank goodness I'm fine. I remember when I had so little spoons and I couldn't draw. I got away from the artist identity. I literally didn't consume or supported or followed or saw anything about art because it would depress me and I was trying to focus on other things. But now that I'm stronger, I feel like actually maybe that was not that good of a method. And now what I'm doing is I'm not focusing on the comic that much. I'm focusing on sketchbook because that's easier to be like, hey, just do half an hour and stop. Very easy to measure. I am so happy. Like, yeah, it's annoying. This is something that I hadn't had any pain almost, honestly. All of 2025 was pain-free, I think. And most of 2026. So it was definitely, I overdid it. I was taking notes for trying to reach the 40 hours a week, I think. And I was fine half a week, but then after a week and a half. So that's not that bad. I have achieved so much muscle. That sounds silly because I was just writing. But I was studying, I was working. And that's great. Honestly, I'm gonna celebrate it. There's a part of me that wants to, of course, throw a tantrum that I cannot draw as much as I can. And it's been obsessing me, honestly, a little. But yeah. Also, I found a new TV show that makes me want to work hard. I'm gonna study. Did you guys watch Korean dramas? I almost never is an exaggerated word. Very once in a while, I'll watch. What about you? Do you have a favorite? Or do you prefer American shows? where the options are policemen, detectives, lawyers, doctors sometimes. What else do they have? A consultant that works with the detectives. I mean, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I feel like anime and K-dramas. No, especially anime, to be honest. That's the one I was thinking about. More roles for stories than those. Oh, superheroes, I forgot. Of course. I like the original storylines. I love that in anime you can even find ballet dancers if you want to. I think there was one even about wine tasting. Like, there's so much more variety. But, I mean, they write amazing stories, so it's fine. I guess you can say warriors if you go historical, but that's. I feel like not everyone watches that, even though I love it. My friends do. My male friends, at least. No, that's a lie. I have many girlfriends that probably watch that stuff, but for some reason they don't comment on it as much. They do love Lord of the Rings. A sports anime wine testing. Yes. Hello, Krakenhead. Do you want to be called like that? Or yeah. I never watched that one, and I actually have tried to find it, and then I think I saw an analysis of it, but who knows where it is? Because you can have mafia, but that's on the other side of detectives. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with my hours, I usually love to spend after the live stream ends. I just continue drawing, but I should be very careful. I'm so tempted to continue, God, but I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna watch a TV show probably. Gonna study a lot tomorrow, and I'm gonna read. I love that I'm able to read. There was a point where I couldn't read. I was with so much pain when I passed the pages or held the book. So I'm gonna celebrate that I can move as much as I can right now. Honestly, talking to you or talking in this live stream is helping because it's very easy if nobody watches you to be like, maybe risking a flare up is not so bad, but no, it's terrible. So, hello. How is everyone else doing? What else? I'm gonna see if I dance. I'm not sure you're interested in this. Have you seen those videos of people that are like making challenges of read with me for 24 hours and they literally read for 24 hours? And it's funny because I have always considered myself a reader. I was way more of a reader before, of course. But now I produce more than I consume. Minus injury, I guess. I don't know. I love reading, but I have never been motivated by the idea of I'm gonna read 1,000 books this year. Like, I just enjoy it. I feel like reading is more like something that relaxes you a lot. and lets you not drown in your own life. So I admire the people that read a lot like that, especially if they have not much else going on. That's already a very cool hobby. Um, like I feel like I would be failing my comic if I was like, I care more about reading. I read more than I create my comic probably, or I'm very slow making my comic more. But yeah, I think it's a very cool hobby to have. You learn a lot. Yeah, I feel like it keeps me grounded. I wonder. I have a friend that reads like easily 100 books a year, maybe more, maybe way more. I remember in my writers club, someone was saying the number, and I was very impressed. She works so hard. She has like 3 jobs easily most of the time. So that's like her escape, her little respite. And I like to read sometimes, but sometimes I like to watch videos. Sometimes I want to just chat with my boyfriend. She's also single. I think that's relevant because it's interesting how time distribution works. I'm fascinated by this topic. I don't know why. I think it helps me to sometimes not even compare myself that much to other people. It's more like, wow, that's so cool. I'm not gonna do that at all but it's very cool that they do it. Like the mom I continue mentioning, she wakes up at 3 a.m. in the morning to work as much as possible in a focused manner before her children wake up. That's very, very impressive. I'm never gonna wake up at 3 a.m. if I can help it. But I think giving her life, her circumstances, I think that's very cool. I think she needs to take care of her health though. I hope she sleeps at some other point. But you know, I think I also envy people that can sleep little hours. Hello, Agiso. How are you? So there are people, especially men. Sometimes they're sleeping like 5 hours a night, 6 hours a night, and that's enough for them. They function perfectly fine. I don't know how they do it, and I know I shouldn't admire it actually. It's not good long term, I guess, health wise, but. And I have realized a lot of my problem is not really lacking time. It's just that I waste a lot overthinking. And one of the reasons I'm so productive in the morning is because I have way less stuff to think about and I'm just focused on one single thing. But I should be able to replicate that during the day, honestly. But if I can be honest, I struggle with it. I may try by how do I say this? Biphasic? Biphasic? Well, 2-phase sleep time, but I think I already tried that once. I may do it, honestly, once I get better drawing. Every day is different, so sometimes I feel like I should be focusing on this or that. How do you organize yourselves? Or do you just do it, because that's honestly the main thing. I think I was thinking a lot about this morning, so that's where my thoughts are going. Okay, that could be more interesting. So I'm tying a lot of habits to me here in podcast, because I can do chores while I listen to them. And I've started to, like, I enjoy listening to mythology from different places, but also I was starting to hear about the history of China. And it's fun because I feel like it's one of the few things, like, here listening to podcast, where I'm not doing it to optimize or to learn something. There's not quiz at the end that will say, hey, how much do you know about the history of China, after listening to so many hours of it and not understanding half the names, probably. I just do it for fun. I guess I'm learning history in a way, but how much will I remember, really? But I don't know. One of the few. I have a lot of fun in my life. It's just a lot of fun. And I also continue listening to my serial killers podcasts every once in a while. Sometimes they have very cool stories of why a painting exists, like this very famous ship painting where nepotism really hurts when you name your rich whatever, you name it, a captain of a ship, and they don't know what they're doing. And hence everyone dies, of course. I think it was from France. I can write the name later in the description, in the comments. So I forgot. I know about it, but I don't remember names. I'm so bad at names sometimes. I have read so many books, and I can tell you most of their titles. My mom has this memory where she watches movies and then she forgets most of the time. And I think that happens to me with books sometimes, unless I pace them very slowly. Also, one of the reasons I read so many at once, because I'm forced to be forgetting and remembering. I have read so many books and I don't remember. I need to reread them. But it's fun to be able to comment on them when other people also read them. I didn't have that experience for such a long time. In any case, only with my mom, because I would read from my grandparents' library, so lots of old books. Not really the modern books that everyone knows on TikTok. So I was not exactly relatable, nor them to me. I would be reading ancient, about Middle Ages in Spain. That helped a lot with vocabulary, though. It was very good for school. Sorry, today I was a little tired. I promise to think more. Next time, maybe let's talk about how to do a freelancer project, and also how to do it with, like, about a comic. Little lessons that are useful to know, especially if comics is something you do alone. And when you're working with someone else and someone else's vision, it's usually artists working for writers. What things to keep in mind, especially a historical comic. Yeah. Let's talk about that next time if you're interested. And the importance of contracts and knowing yourself. Something I can mention is there's this book called The Now Habit that helps so much, or at least in the past it helped me so much with procrastination. Because in the past my enemy was overworking. Now my enemy is overthinking. But The Now Habit talks a little bit more about one of the reasons we do procrastinate is because we think this is the moment you can rest. Especially if you're overworking, actually. Because then you're like, oh, I'm gonna rest until later, but it's not really rest chosen by you, or not the kind you want. Then you end up going to bed late, because it's not really... How much do you enjoy scrolling, really? There's a little bit of enjoyment, I think. There's a limit, of course. Like, I love watching shows and reading, but sometimes because I don't want to get up from bed, I grab the phone, and it's like the easy way out, even though you may enjoy more the movie, the going out with friends. So The Now Habit works for those people that work very hard. I'm not working very hard right now, honestly. Ever since I hurt myself, I've been like, well, what's the point? But I'll recover. Already taking steps. Something... No, this is very specific to those hurts. Joakim, so you say, I'm okay so far this week. I think I'll actually get back to drawing this week. I decided to just read manga last week. Too tired from work. That makes a lot of sense. But that's very nice. 1 week on, 1 week off. I can imagine it's very demanding. I think that's a perfect, healthy way to recover it. Giving you time to rest. Given that you're indeed working very, very hard. You read a little. Share your progress if you want. Only if you want. No pressure. Try to not think of others. Just enjoy. I think that's gonna be great. Yeah, there was a moment I was not motivated to do my comic anymore either. Not ever, but I was feeling so tired. It was also a physical thing. It's impressive, modern medicine and stuff. Like, you just take some supplements and it's like, well, you have energy now. But also this little habit of just do a live stream, half an hour. And also how I mentioned already that I tuned the algorithm in Instagram to show me only artists almost and only beautiful things. It keeps me motivated so much. There's this actually interesting story where there was this man that believed he could raise children that were experts in something. And he raised, I think, 3 daughters. surrounded by everything chess. They would play chess a lot. Their peers would be chess players. They would get rewarded for playing chess. It was part of the community. And then, sure enough, they became the new... What's the name? Grandfathers? Something? I don't know, but they did great. This is from Atomic Habits, I think. No, yeah, it is. And I have used that a lot of where, honestly, in my life, real life, I don't have that, sadly. Or not that much. But the internet and my algorithm, I can modify that, for sure. On YouTube, on Instagram. So yeah, that motivates so much with wanting to draw. Obviously not all the time. Also, you need to disconnect and be able to enjoy other things. But it's worked too well. Just keeping these little habits up. Technically, I'm extending more than half an hour, but it's, I think... Okay, just gonna do the sleeve and then I'll stop. It's funny how this pain thing works. Apparently it accumulates, and that's why even if you feel fine, you can mess it up. Today I did weights, arms actually, working out the arms. And I felt great, but it's funny because this is a finger movement, and wrist and arm, it's a whole thing. I think I can risk 3 minutes more, it's literally. But I'm not gonna risk anything more, I promise. This has already also been almost a week of me. Not a week. How many days? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop. As soon as I feel weird. Okay. Thank you, Agisa. Yes, I'm glad to hear you've been taking care of your health. Thank you so much. Yeah, as soon as I feel weird, or like a little... Because there's the part that can make you stop because you're afraid. But there's the part that's real, and you need to find a balance of what's in your fear and what's real. So thank goodness I can do a lot still. But yeah, I should stop. I already let go of the pen, which is the main position. And yeah. Good luck drawing your manga, Agisa, and everyone with your projects. I hope I'll see you next Sunday. Take care. Bye.